You aren't ready for this. The CEO of Ripple, lawyers, and crypto specialists all think that the trial against the SEC will end soon. This is the best indicator of growth ever. And of course, the price of the XRP Ripple coin should show this. What's even more remarkable is that analysts think it will increase to an astronomical $10,000. You can't afford to miss this video. Let's get right to the point without any further fuss. Warning, after almost 4 years of not knowing, Ripple's protracted legal fight with the Securities and Exchange Commission seems to be coming to a close. People who work in crypto are already blowing the final whistle. Levi tweeted that the SEC would drop the matter soon. Steph gave another update, saying that the SEC should officially drop its XRP appeal any day now. This should be a time of joy for a lot of XRP holders, but instead, it's a time to think and, for some, be angry. It's not just the SEC that is causing the stress anymore. There is a new wave of criticism, and this time it is focused at Ripple itself, not the authorities. More particularly, do the leaders of Ripple really reflect the beliefs and interests of XRP holders? Chris Larsen, one of Ripple's co-founders, is at the center of this controversy because people are looking more closely at the political donations he made. Larsen gave more than $11 million to Kamala Harris's campaign during the 2024 U.S. presidential race. This made him the biggest contribution from the crypto field. That action made a lot of people in the XRP community very worried, and those worries haven't gone away. It's well known that Donald Trump got a lot of support from people who own cryptocurrencies during the campaign. He openly supported digital assets, claimed to make America a global crypto powerhouse, took crypto donations, and said he would protect financial innovation. People thought that Harris was part of the government that let Gary Gensler's SEC take a hard line on crypto, including XRP. Larsen's huge donation felt like a betrayal to XRP holders. It made them think that Ripple's officials might be more in line with Washington politics than with the people who kept XRP alive throughout the regulatory fire. Because of that disconnect, some people who own Ripple are now thinking about whether or not to keep supporting it in the long run. Recently, one crypto user said quite clearly that if XRP goes back up to $3.50, they would sell everything and purchase Bitcoin when it goes over $125,000. Some others say that Ripple is politically opportunistic because it backed Harris during the campaign but then switched to Trump when the tide changed in his favor. Some recover from the damage. In the middle of all the political hoopla, a former SEC lawyer stepped in to set the record straight. Mark Fogel, who used to be an SEC regional director, said that the action against Ripple wasn't started by the Biden administration. It was really submitted while Jay Clayton was chair of the SEC and Donald Trump was president. Fogel said that the enforcement action was filed when Trump was chair of the SEC. Gensler only got the case after he took charge. Fogel also said that it wasn't unusual for Clayton to sign off on the lawsuit on his last day in office. The matter had been being looked into for a long time, and moving it forward averted any unnecessary delays during the change of leadership. That explanation, however, hasn't calmed things down. Many XRP holders think that the tone of enforcement got worse when Gensler was in charge. And most people think that a Harris-led administration would have made the crackdown last longer, or get worse. People don't just regard Chris Larsen's choice to give millions to Harris as political. They also see it as personal. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, said lately that the company is ready to end the litigation. That conclusion might not have been feasible if Harris had won the election, which is funny. Now, the project is facing a different kind of obstacle, now that the SEC is anticipated to back off and XRP is ready for new chances. Ripple might win its court case, but it could lose the trust of the people who have supported it through years of market instability and antagonism from regulators. Ripple and the XRP community have never been more at odds, and with every political headline, that difference appears to get bigger. Analysts are already saying that XRP will break out in a big way now that the SEC is pulling back. Some people think it could go up past its all-time high faster than anyone thinks. You won't believe the price targets they're throwing about. Stay tuned, because what follows next might just blow your mind. People are already getting ready for the worst. People who are ready for the explosion are still unsure. Ask Demonics on X. They'll know exactly how the XRP community feels. Maxi was even more clear. XRP is set to blow up, and maybe the most surprising thing of all, Chabot said, to be careful. The next XRP rally will surprise everyone. Most people won't be ready for how crazy it gets. The timing couldn't be more important. Because Trump has openly supported digital innovation, the market sees this as a political sign that crypto is okay. Mishi put it best when he tweeted, "This is not just another crypto season, we might be seeing a real change in the history of money since Trump is supporting digital innovation and XRP is gaining ground. It seems like all the parts of the puzzle are falling into place. Clear rules, political backing, and renewed trust from investors." But some analysts are going beyond feelings and putting real statistics on these ambitions. Crypto expert Pompeius made one of the most stunning predictions, that XRP's rise from $3.50 to $10,000 isn't simply a dream, it's just math. That's accurate. The price went up by 285,600%. Pompeius says, this isn't about hype. It's about fundamentals that are being held back on purpose. He says that individual investors are being shook out right before a big change happens, while institutions discreetly create the infrastructure for XRP to be used in real-world asset tokenization and global liquidity flows. At first sight, a $10,000 XRP seems impossible. It would bring the market cap closer to $600 trillion, which is a lot more than the current global GDP. But that's not the point. Pompeius isn't stating that XRP will stay at that price in the usual sense. He's talking about how big the changes are going to be in the financial system and how XRP's role in cross-border settlement in tokenized real-world assets could revolutionize how we measure value. He closes with a scary but strong statement. You won't be invited to the table. You have to take your seat. People who have held XRP for a long time may relate to that kind of urgency, since they recall being made fun of for holding it during the legal storm. Ripple has won, and partnerships are growing. Now, those same holders are seeing their patience pay off. It's not only about potential anymore. It's also about positioning. XRP Dragon claimed that 4 years ago was the greatest time to acquire XRP. Today is the second best time. We might never have another moment like this one. A coming together of legal resolution, political momentum, and changes in the global economy. It's evident that something big is going on below the surface. Whether or not XRP ever reaches 5 figures, most people won't be ready for the next move. Isn't it crazy? But what if I told you that what we've seen so far is simply the tip of the iceberg? You can't miss what's going on behind the scenes at XRP Ripple. Trust me, this following portion will blow your mind. It talks about secret moves by institutions and partnerships around the world that no one else is talking about. When we look at how different major financial powers use Ripple in its digital asset XRP, the story takes on an interesting global aspect. The US and Ripple were in a high-profile litigation against each other. The UK quietly went a very different way, which could be a sign that Ripple will become more important in the future of global finance. Satoshi Scope, a crypto analyst, has brought this difference to light with his eye-opening thread called the XRP Bank of England Conspiracy. Was Ripple always approved by the Crown? He says that the SEC was taking Ripple to court in the US, but the Bank of England was already looking into Ripple's technology as far back as 2017. In the UK, the central bank was testing RippleNet, Ripple's payment solution, to upgrade its real-time gross settlement system. This was happening at the same time as most central banks were only starting to think about digital currencies. This wasn't just a test. It was a deliberate move to look for other options to the aging SWIFT network, which has been the main way for international financial messages